Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Doomsday Clock issue 5. This is written by Jeff Johns. Gary Frank did the illustrations. Brad Anderson was the colorist. Rob Lay letterer. And group editor was Brian Cunningham. Of course, we're using characters from Watchmen, created by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. And Superman was, of course, created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. The massive crossover between the Watchmen universe and the DC primary universe continues here. We've got Ozymandias in a hospital. They think he's unconscious, but he manages to escape and rescue his kitty cat. Lois and Clark are dealing with Perry White and the headlines of what they're calling a metahuman assassination attempt on Lex Luthor, which is, of course, Ozymandias. And we've got a whole bunch of other problems going on. The Superman theory seems to be spreading, and the Russians are getting more involved with the whole situation. They're closing their borders, and they are forming their own super team called the People's Heroes, and Firestorm comes out and condemns their leader, who is also a Firestorm. I think his name is Pozon. At the same time, Saturn Girl is the one that broke Roarshach out of jail, and she did manage to recover her Legion ring, which we do see. And they are trying to figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, Mr. Thunder escapes his old folks' home and gets himself ambushed, and he runs into some new friends who save him, and Batman manages to find the owl ship and meets Ozymandias. So we get a lot of further into the plot. Really picks up here. We get the Joker, and here we get Lex Luthor. We got a lot going on. Unfortunately, Batman runs into a lot of trouble, but Mr. Thunder and his new friends find something very, very important that could spark a return of things, but he runs into some serious trouble at the same time. So we've got a lot going on here. We've got a very iconic old symbol coming back from the Golden Age, possibly setting us up for the return of an old team that I would really like to see back in continuity. I'm trying to be vague. It's really difficult, but a lot happened in this issue, and this is very important because the plot is definitely picking up now, and I think this is about to get really awesome really fast. So this was a good issue. It really kind of brings things to a head. You do need to read the previous issues to understand what's going on. There are some elements of recapping in there, but you really do need to read the first 4 issues to get a complete sense of what's happened. So I highly recommend this series. It's been great so far. I hope it continues to be. I really do like Jeff Johns' work. I think this is a solid issue all around. The art, I wasn't familiar with Gary Frank that much. I'd seen some of his work before, but I'm really liking it. It really does have kind of the same feel as the original Watchmen, but a little cleaner, and I think a little more detailed in a lot of respect. The scenes where Mr. Thunder is getting his butt kicked and Batman getting in a fight at the same time, and the juxtapose those two is really good. I'm real intrigued to see where this goes, and I really hope it continues to be this good, and I really look forward to reading issue 6. I just wish it was monthly instead of bi-monthly, but I suspect they are delaying it for a specific reason to tie it into something else that's going to happen when this series ends. And now obviously I can't confirm that suspicion, but I think they're setting up for something as soon as the series ends, probably this time next year. Definitely a recommendation, and that's going to do it for me. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you like what we're doing, hit the like button, consider subscribing, and if you want to throw some money at me to help me get some more comics to review, Patreon link is in the description, and we're on the About page. As always, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next one.